Okay. You want to kick off?
All right, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Focuz. I'm with my boy Graham. Hi,
Hmm.
hey, matter of fact, introduce yourself to the people, Graham.
Okay. What do I say? Let's see. I have two podcasts, the Chatterbox and Business Coaching Masterclass. I have an organization on YouTube, the Academy of Language Therapy and Life Coaching, and I have an interest in music and all things music related. So, what's your podcast, by the way?
Well, my podcast is Focus Music.
Okay, sweet. So, what kind of music are you dealing with there?
Okay, well, like right now, what I'm looking at this battle against Iron Solomon against this guy, Rum Nitty. Yo, underground rap is so dope to me, man, because
Hmm.
they have no holdbacks like a lot of these industry rappers.
Okay, you
It's
think
no,
people you think people lose it a little bit when they become commercial? Is that what you're saying?
yes, and the realness is gone.
The realness is gone. Okay, so what do you recognize as the difference between those two groups then? So what have you seen as different between the underground artists and the commercial artists?
So I'm looking at these because I'm an artist myself, and I don't know why that when I look at these new rap, like a new rapper, like a Lil Peep or a Lil Tom, I don't even know their name for real, but a Lil
Yeah.
Yachty, Lil Peep, Lil Tom, whatever their name is. I look at I look at Iron Solomon right now. He's giving his whole, he's showing you his art right now. He's showing you
Hmm.
how he feel when he's rapping. When you looking at like a little pump and they talk
Hmm.
about some gangster rap, really, I
Hmm.
can't really take a guy that got pink, purple, orange, and green hair and his teeth matches his hair. I can't take him serious saying you a gangster. One whole time I'm looking at this
Right.
cause I'm half white. I'm looking at this full white guy right here looking like he looks more thug than
Mm.
anybody that I've seen in the new rap game.
So what is this? What is this? What is this thing with gangsters and rap? Why do you have to be a gangster to do rap? What the hell's that about? I
Well,
mean,
I don't feel you should, but if you portray to be a gangster in rap,
yeah.
really be about that. Don't come to the scene lying. Saying like, oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm this big ass gangster rapper, but whole
Mm-hmm.
time you petting a poodle.
Why can't people just be why can't people just be nice to each other, right? Why can't
No,
they give
no,
each other a handout? Why do they have to?
that's how I feel, and they making it hard. Like a lot of gangster rappers I know, they're making it hard for artists like myself. You over here talking about weed, money, and females like there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing else in this world.
Oh man, that bugs me so much. That bugs me so much when people are just so one-dimensional, and it's like there's a whole world of variety and possibility, and
And
just
not even that,
endlessness, right?
we're dealing with multiverses, whether people know it or not. We're dealing with that. And you can talk about the spiritual realm, you can talk about the physical form realm that we in right now. You can even talk about something that these children can elaborate off of and become great people. But you want to tell the
Mm-hmm.
people, just like again, going back to this URL rap, at least when I listen to them, I feel like they do a little studying about each other. That comes in school. You got to study to become great. They do a lot of studying to become these URL rappers. They
Mm-hmm.
have to write this shit out. A lot of these rappers nowadays, they literally sound like I be coming through the trap. You already know I rap. What you talking about is facts. Nobody's gonna deal with that. I mean, nobody's gonna rock with that just off the strength that first off it's ABC and it's simple. And comparing that to a Tupac or a Biggie or a KRS-One. Matter of fact, even I forgot their name. It was this country rapper man I was just listening to. He is way better than a lot of these new gangster rappers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well,
I would
that's
share him on my Facebook.
Absolutely. What do you think is the progress in rap, right? I mean, like I'm 40 years old, right? I can reflect back to the
Right?
80s in rap, the 90s in rap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Uh,
how do you think things have changed from your perspective?
okay. To me, a lot of rap got is up and down. You know,
Right.
on one hand, you got Kendrick, J. Cole. On the other hand, like I said, you got Lil Pump, all these other whack ass rappers. So it's an up and down thing. It's basically it's basically what style of rap that you know that you like the most. Again, I'd rather listen to a How to Pimp a Butterfly album than listen to one song called Gucci Gang.
Well, there's the great thing about the modern world is the variety of choice, right? If I go
Yes,
back to
yes,
like the 80s, you somebody had to have something on a cassette tape, right? And they had to pass it
right.
around, and if and maybe somebody made a recording of the cassette tape, and that was all you had, right?
Right.
And you either got some money together and you went to buy something yourself because you heard about it
Yeah.
on the radio or you read about it in a magazine or something, and it was kind
I
of
didn't even know that. I swear I didn't even know that.
it was kind of taking a big risk, right? Because you'd have a little bit of
Yeah.
money and you'd be like, oh, I don't know if I should buy it. There wasn't even a way to check out the album before you bought it, right? There wasn't even
Right.
listening posts or anything like that,
Right.
You'd read about something in a magazine and it would have like 4 stars or 5 stars, or there'd be some vibe
Okay.
about it somewhere, and you'd be like, okay, it's got 4 stars, it's probably good, and you'd
Mm-hmm.
go out and then you spend your hard-earned money and you wouldn't even know what you were getting, right? Until you got it home, and maybe it was like a bus ride into town or something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And you check out the record shops, and if you were lucky enough to live in a city, right? Because if you weren't in a city, you were screwed. You had to get a tape from someone at school, and maybe nobody at school
Right.
was was
Well, I
into the same
actually
stuff
feel
that
like
you're
it
into.
was. To me, I feel like it was actually easier to make music then
Mm.
than now.
But there was less pressure. I don't know if it was easier to make. It was harder to record it. That's for sure, right? Because the technology just kind of didn't
Right.
really exist there. And maybe you had I don't know, maybe you knew somebody who had a drum machine, and you could I don't know, rap out something, record it on tape. But people walking around with their iPhones in their pockets, and you got applications you can
Yeah.
download with different beats, and you can connect with different people. So there there's more opportunity now, but I don't know if that just creates. I don't like more just creates more, and you get lost because there's just so much stuff.
Actually, again, as an artist, we do get lost because and I swear I was just talking to my boy, about this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
He really has this thing about technology that he doesn't like off the strength because a lot of people use their phones now to be their brain. They don't think no more. This world is not thinking no more. There's no reason to think. Only thing you got to do is, hey, Alexa, or okay, Google, or hey, Siri. That's all you got to do, and they're going to tell you all the answers. Ain't nobody writing no more. Ain't nobody thinking no more. So that's why they coming out with Gucci Gang, or these mumble-ass rappers. It's hard for
Yeah.
artists like myself.
Well, it's hard for people when it's hard for artists when people want a 3-second sound bite. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
they want something that's like a short, sharp shock that's not going to be deep. They're not going to have to think too much about it, and they can just get on with living their mundane
This
lifestyle.
is making it hard because I feel like this. If you gotta go to school for like 8 to 10 years to be a doctor,
Mm-hmm.
why don't we have the same concept as an artist? Because music heals people too.
Absolutely, 100% agree. It's
I've been doing this literally. I've been studying music for 10 years. I've been doing this since I was 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I just turned 27 this year.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I'm not.
music has that way to cross the border and the boundary, right? I mean, it's the universal language, right?
It's universal, and I'm glad you said that, right? Because that's exactly what it is.
Because
Music is a language.
it is, and it's a way of connecting people that doesn't work in any sense or any other way. And let me give you a mad example of that, right? A mad example is that I grew up in the Highlands of Scotland, right? The Highlands of Scotland, little villages, right? And and it was like you would listen to the radio, you try to find a radio station, you try to pick up some cool music, and I had diverse taste. I would listen to, everything across the board, right? I'd listen to traditional music, I listened to rock, I listened to rap, I'd listen to anything that was fresh, anything that was entertaining, anything that was new, anything that was cool, right? And one of the few things that I could relate to living in the Highlands of Scotland was NWA and Public Enemy. And LL Cool J. Can you believe that? Can you believe that?
NWA is the best group I done probably ever heard. Seriously, and I wasn't even born in that era, but once I got introduced to NWA, man, I was like, the rap game will never be the same after this. It will not.
You know what blew me away, right? Because I can talk with you about this because you know what you're talking about. Like in the scene where I'm from, I can't talk about this with anybody because people look at me with a blank stare, like who, what, where, why,
right.
what are you talking about? Right. So I remember late one night, right? I was going through the radio stations, and there was. I can say Eazy-E to you. You know what I'm talking about, right? But I can't say it to anyone around about me because nobody knows, right? And there was this Eazy-E song called Radio, yeah? And I blew my mind. There was nothing else I'd ever heard like it. And I was like, I have to find this. I went to cities and was like mining through record stores. Where can I get this stuff? And he's making this where he is, and it's transcending all cultures, all borders, all boundaries, because there's a universal message of connection and experience there, and that's the beauty of it, right? And all styles of music have a little bit of it, whether it's country or whether it's folk or whether the best of the best is the best.
Language, right? It got that message in that language in it. And it's a lot of people. I swear, I done been face to face with a couple people recently that told me that they will never understand the language of music because they're so stuck into which I don't blame them, but they're so stuck into the new world now. They're stuck into how can I put this? They're stuck into what's trending right now. So they would never know. They will never know the real language of music. So they won't go back all the way to the 80s, or they won't go back all the way to the 90s and be like, "Oh, so this what rap is about." They're not gonna do that. What they're gonna do is they're gonna look into the new rap, and they're gonna look up what I look up a lot. And I see what a lot of people look up nowadays is new rappers. Once they look up new artists or new rappers, what they get is like I said, a little Peep, a little Pump, a little Tom, a little Dick,
they're just skimming across the surface of what is an ocean that needs to be explored by people. I mean, I think it's too many people are caught in the fashions. They're caught in the trends. They're caught in what's going on. And I forgive them for it because the world is a diverse place and everybody's got their own thing going on. But it doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter what culture you're in. Without music, there's nothing, right? The song, the dance, the getting together, the party, the sharing the experience. Music is the core of that. It's a way of recording who we are, where we are, what we're experiencing. Man, we're running to the end of our 15-minute limit, so put out your podcasts again.
Oh yeah, Focuz Music. Everybody go holler at me. Focuz Music.
Okay. Okay.